ESIC issues bans to 37 coaches for spectator bug uses in pro matches. 37 coaches, that's pretty much the entire pro scene. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Time Has But a Window. Now, a while back, I made a video talking about 3 pro team coaches that were caught cheating using a spectator bug. Now, this bug pretty much let a coach join a game and spectate from any location on the map they chose. This means they could see the other team and tell their team exactly what they were doing. Of course, this gives their team a massive advantage, as it's basically like having wall hacks. Now, at the time that I made the first video, only 3 pro coaches had been caught. And yes, it's sad that I'm using the word only, because let's be honest, 3 pro teams cheating is pretty bad as it is. But it seems that was just the beginning. On September 4th, ESIC, known as the Esports Integrity Commission, announced an investigation into historical abuse of the bug. Now, while the investigation isn't over, here are the investigation outcomes. ESIC initially estimated that they would need to review 25,000 demos. They'd have to individually go through each one of these to assess the exploitation of the spectator bug. After accessing ESEA and HLTV's database, they ended up downloading 99,650 demos, approximately 15.2 terabytes of data. Let's be honest, that's probably too many demos for them to ever completely go through. Now, as of the date of this statement, ESIC has reviewed approximately 20% of the total demos available for review. However, ESIC notes that the demos already reviewed form the conclusions identified in this statement. Upon investigation, they have identified evidence that the spectator bug was previously brought up with admins as far back as 2017. Now, while they've only gone through about 20% of the total demos, they have found 37 offending parties. This means 37 different coaches cheating. Keep in mind that the demos they're getting are from pro teams from tier 1 to tier 3. That's a pretty high percentage of them. It is not an understatement to say that CSGO is probably the most cheated game in history. Alright, so I'm going to go through this full list here in a second, but as you can see, there are a lot of teams here. They said 37 of them. Can you even imagine trying to break into the pro scene if your team isn't cheating themselves? I mean, you'd be absolutely screwed and wonder how these people knew exactly what you were doing and set up for it every time. I mean, are pros psychic? No, they're just cheating. I mean, not all of them, but as you can see, it looks like it is a large percentage of them. More pro teams cheat than don't cheat. So on the first page, we have Coach Twista, who cheated on iGame, a tier 1 team. Castle, who was on a tier 2 team named McQuinnaz. Dynamito from the tier 2 team, Furious Gaming. Obviously, I'm gonna mispronounce some of these names, like Arzonica, who was on Team Evidence, another tier 2 team. Ragin, the coach for Tricked, the tier 1 team. Glowed H, who was the coach on a tier 2 team called Freestyle. PRD from Neverest, another tier 2 team. Nook from Quantum Bellator Fire, another tier 2 team. Rix from Daytona, another tier 2 team. Apoka from Boom, a tier 1 team. Machino Gun from Hard Legion. This is one of the original 3 that got banned. Hell Popovic from 9Z, a tier 2 team. Fury from Dream Eaters, a tier 2 team. Solar, who used this bug on Simon in K23, a tier 2 team. Hunden from Heroic, a tier 2 team. Dead, who we all know from SK Gaming and MIBR, the tier 2 team. Another name that I'm not sure how to pronounce, Guiri from Furia, a tier 2 team. Pitta from Ninjas in Pajamas, the tier 2 team. Akamo from the tier 2 team, Hard Legion. F1N from Gambit Youngsters, a tier 2 team. L from Imperial and Pain, tier 2 team. PEU from W7M, tier 3 team. Robin from tier 2 team FaZe Clan. Lord from Team Kingwin, tier 2. Tohio from X Outlaws and Wendigo Gaming, a tier 2 team. Andy from Navi, a tier 2 team. Pepic from a tier 2 team called Esuba. Biggie from Heretics, a tier 2 team. Trilly from Epsilon, Red Reserve, a tier 2 team. StarX, which we will talk about a little bit later in this video, from Navi, a tier 2 team. AVE from North, a tier 2 team. Rosie from Nordavid, a tier 2 team. LMBTR from Hellraisers and Fours, tier 2. Fetish from Heroic, Tier 3. Mini Rocks from Godsend, Tier 3. Punisher from Movie Star Writers, Tier 3. Rugga from Dignitas, Tier 3. So as you can see, a large percentage of pro teams are on this list. Keep in mind, these are only the ones that are getting suspension, and that at this point they've only gone through 20% of the demos. One team I'm very surprised isn't on this list is Astralis, because they've been so dominant over the past few years. So they should get a ton of praise for that. As for everyone that is on this list, screw you guys. Now back to what I wanted to talk about when it comes to StarX. A while back, he accused Flusha of cheating on LAN and accused Valve of seeing it but never admitting to it. He claims that Valve hid information of Flusha cheating in order to protect their own image. So it is interesting to see that he is one of the coaches on this list that is getting a temporary suspension, as he too is using that exploit that allowed him to be anywhere on the map and watch the other team. And while there is evidence of the coaching bug being used back all the way to 2017, it is theorized that this bug has been used since 2016. I'm curious what we'll find as they continue to push through demos and go farther and farther back through the timeline. This is a major embarrassment for Counter-Strike and for the esports scene in general. I mean, damn, if I was Valve, I'd just scrap CSGO entirely at this point and rebuild a brand new Counter-Strike with bug fixes and better anti-cheat. Anyways, guys, I know this is a pretty short video, but I really wanted to update you guys on this as I felt it was pretty important to the scene here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts about this whole situation in the comments down below, and as always, have a great day.